Good morning, everybody, to the CSBS podcast. As most of my listeners know, I have a weekly sports radio show every Wednesday at 3 p.m., but I also have a weekly podcast in which I give tips and hints to improve the quality of someone's broadcast. Today's lecture is going to be on the importance of news broadcasting, but instead of following the normal lecture format or the normal dissemination of information, today's is going to be a demonstration of how to do that. So, without further ado, let's go to our first story. Our first story today is one around 29-year-old male Ronald Homer, who tragically lost his life last week at the Atlanta Braves game after falling from the upper decks of Turner Field. He fell 65 feet to the concrete walkway below, and medical officials pronounced his death upon arrival. The Atlanta Braves have since released no statement and have referred all calls to the Atlanta police. So far, the police have announced that there's been no foul play, and according to eyewitness testimony, it was purely accidental. The accident was said to have been caused by a combination of alcohol and heavy rain, making the surfaces slick. This is the second death that has occurred at Turner Field. In 2008, a 25-year-old male fell down a stairwell, receiving numerous head injuries. He was later pronounced dead at Atlanta Medical Center as well, having died from his injuries. However, he had previous medical conditions, whereas this is the first ever non-medical condition death at Turner Field. That night, the Braves were playing the Phillies in what was a 2-hour rain delay. Mr. Homer was going out to his car to leave, thinking the game being canceled, but when the rain started to be let up, he went back inside to see if the game was to recommence. Upon heading back inside, he tragically slipped off the walkway into his death. As previously stated, the Braves have not released a statement, but it is no doubt that they will do what they can to increase security and possible construction to improve the safety of their stadium and to prevent future accidents like this happening. Our next segment is brought to you by Phil's Sports Bar and Grill. If you are like me, then you're always on the lookout for a great place to watch the game. The best place I have found is Phil's Sports Bar and Grill, located on the corner of Prairie and Burlington in Brookfield, Illinois. Phil's features daily specials, 10 TVs, and complimentary Wi-Fi so you can follow your fantasy leagues. And on top of all that, Phil's has the greatest atmosphere and sensational food. Check out Phil's Sports Bar and Grill today. In further news, in the world of mixed martial arts, the World Series of Fighting 4 competition was held in California over the past week. And while it was just a modest event that did not receive a lot of positive press, there was one great story to come out of that, and that revolves around the 10th victory for Nick Newell, who is a 27-year-old who has now gone 10-0. He received a tap-out victory in the first round by defeating Keon Caldwell, who's 9-2 and the former UFC fighter. What makes this such an incredible story is that Nick Newell is a congenital amputee. He was born with a certain condition which causes the fibrous bands in his arms to not develop properly, thus cutting off the blood flow. Therefore, on his left arm, about halfway down his forearm, he has had his arm amputated. And now is 10-0 in mixed martial arts despite his handicap. Most of his fights have come through tap-out through his various and ingenious ways of grappling opponents and getting them into previously unseen forms of submissions. Nick Newell has been an inspiration using his handicap to create a whole new style which has served him well. In this particular match at the 2:07 mark in the first round, he used a modified guillotine chokehold in which he had the opponent in a front headlock and his legs wrapped around him, but used a different variation of clutching his arms together, seeing as he only has half a forearm. The promotion itself is at a precarious stage where it just held its 4th annual World Series of Fighting competition, but it needs to start showing more promise, or else the initial investment that launched the promotion may run out before they can start delivering the funds necessary to keep the project afloat. Obviously, the biggest game in town of MMA world is the UFC, but several smaller promotions have been trying to upseat the large competitor, but none have come close, and several are just trying to make it. But with a fighter like Nick Newell, the company now has someone which to build around and has a goodwill story to promote. Especially since he's 10-0, he will be a likely candidate to go for their middleweight championships. Nick Newell already has an underground following, and given further news, it may be the best thing that have happened to the World Series of Fighting promotion. Our third story today is brought to you by T-Lander and T-Lander. Being arrested or accused of a crime can be a life-altering experience. So if you find yourself in that situation, you need the best representation. With a combined 60-plus years of experience, T-Lander and T-Lander can handle any situation, from traffic tickets to felony charges. Based out of DuPage County, T-Lander and T-Lander is the firm you need to get the results you want. Call now at 630-858-0880 to set up your consultation. T-Lander and T-Lander, simply the best. In further news, in the NBA, Basketball Hall of Famer Jerry Lucas is set to auction off numerous items, including his 1960 Olympics gold medal and his 1973 New York Knicks championship ring. This is not due to a desperation for money, and it is not because of failing medical health. This is merely because he wants to distribute his remaining wealth amongst his family in a fair way, and he cannot do so if all of his wealth and assets is in the form of medals and championships. Jerry Lucas is quoted as saying that he has good memories associated with all the items, but they're hard to see while they're in a closet. He's not a sentimental person, and it's about his family's future and well-being. He set up an auction on Gray Flannel Auctions to auction off numerous items, including his 1960 USA Basketball gold medal jersey that was worn in the championship game, his 1960 USA Basketball gold medal, his 1980 Hall of Fame ring, his 1973 New York Knicks championship ring, his top 50 NBA players ring with presentation box, his NBA top 50 player lithograph, NBA top 50 leather jacket and travel bag, his 1960 Ohio State National Championship ring, 1960 Ohio State shooting shirt, 1969 San Francisco Warriors game-worn jersey, and the Cincinnati Royals game-worn jersey. Jerry Lucas, at age 73, is recognized as one of the NBA's top 50 players in their 50th anniversary celebration, to which he was named. In his Hall of Fame career, he played for the Cincinnati Royals, the San Francisco Warriors, but most notably for the New York Knicks in the championship victory in 1973. He is one of only 3 players to win a championship at every level, which includes high school, college, the NBA, and the Olympics. He was a 7-time All-Pro and has been living comfortably with his wife and children. Our next segment is brought to you by Comcast. Comcast has now made it easier for you to control your home and appliances from your mobile tablet or computer or cell phone. You want to turn off the lights, set the alarm, or adjust the thermostat from anywhere? You can do it from just the touch of a button. Call 1-800-XFINITY to get 24/7 professional monitoring. Xfinity Home offers you the security and peace of mind you need to make sure everything in your home is protected. In addition to protection and peace of mind, it also saves on your energy bill, being able to cut down on expenses and to control all of your electronics from the mere touch of a button from your phone. Call 1-800-XFINITY now to get your professional monitoring and consultation. Xfinity Home can start for as little as $29.95 a month and can lock you into a 2-year contract by saving over $200, plus getting $925 worth of equipment. Call 1-800-XFINITY now. Our final story of this morning is the NFL. The NFL Players Association and the NFL League are in negotiations to implement HGH testing for this upcoming year. They have already agreed in principle to the terms in which a study is going to take place testing the blood levels of random players throughout the league and retired players. This is to form a study given the basis of HGH testing so that all future testing will have a benchmark to show what the normal levels for athletes are. It has been agreed upon that any results given from this test phase cannot be used in any later sanctions. It cannot be used for any punishment that the league may deem fit, given a future negative test. In fact, right now, the population study is on its way, and there is only one major hurdle. The last hurdle into implementing this plan is between the union and the league as to who has the final say on appeals. Right now, the league wants to continue the trend of having Roger Goodell oversee all appeals that go through the league, whereas the NFL union wants to get a third party to arbitrate over any dispute. This arbitration method is already used by other leagues, most notably in the NHL, and that will be the final hurdle before permanent HGH testing can be implemented. The NFL is one of the leagues that does not test for HGH and has been widely criticized as being one of the most lenient leagues in form of player testing and PED use. Right now, the league has annual drug tests that are announced and happen prior to the beginning of the season. Unlike baseball, the tests are not random, they are scheduled, and it only tests a minority of the players. But given this agreement, it will be a long step for both the league and the players' union in combating PED use in sports. This makes a welcome change given the break of the biogenesis scandal, and now that the league has taken steps to increase their testing procedures, they will be seen more as an aggressor in the fight against PED use in sports. And given their checkered past and their willingness to overlook PED rumors, this can be nothing but a good sign for the NFL moving forward. For the CSBS, I am your host, Chris Stanton. Please tune in every Wednesday at 3 p.m. to my weekly broadcast on sports, and tune in tomorrow on Saturday for a special broadcast that will highlight and preview the upcoming NFL season. For all you listeners out there, have a wonderful day and a fabulous weekend. This is Chris Stanton, signing off.